नो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। ओम निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। समस्त देवताभ्यो नमः, ऋषिभ्यो नमः, मुनिभ्यो नमः, गुरुभ्यो नमः, ब्राह्मणेभ्यो नमः, आचार्येभ्यो भक्तेभ्यो साधुभ्यो साधकेभ्यो तीर्थेभ्यो क्षेत्रेभ्यो नदीनदेभ्यो नमः, शास्त्रेभ्यो नमः, परब्रह्मणे महाविष्णवे ब्रह्मणे सनकादिमुनिभ्यो नारदाय वेदव्यासाय शुकब्रह्मर्षे सूतमहामुने शौनकादि अत्र्यादृषिभ्यो प्रह्लादादिभक्तजनेभ्यो मत्स्याद्यवतारेभ्यो आदित्यादिनवग्रहदेवताभ्यो नमः। श्रीदक्षिणामूर्ति दत्तात्रेय हयग्रीवादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। आदिपराशक्तिमात्रे नमः। माता पितृदेवताभ्यो नमः। आद्यशङ्कराचार्यवर्येभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कन्धः मुक्तिः हित्वा अन्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। अथ द्वाविंशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच। Chant from mantra 48. आत्मनः पितृपुत्राभ्याम् अनुमेयौ भवाप्ययौ न भवाप्ययवस्तूनाम् अभिज्ञो द्वयलक्षणः तरोर्बीजविपाकाभ्याम् यो विद्वान् जन्म संयमौ तरोर्विलक्षणो द्रष्टा एवं द्रष्टा तनोः पृथक् प्रकृतेरेवमात्मानम् अविविच्याबुधः पुमान् तत्त्वेन स्पर्शसम्मूढः संसारं प्रतिपद्यते। सत्त्वसङ्गादृशीन् देवान् रजसासुरमानुषान् तमसा भूततिर्यक्त्वं भ्रामितो याति कर्मभिः नृत्यतो गायतः पश्यन् यथैवानुकरोति तान् एवं बुद्धिगुणान् पश्यन् अनीहोऽप्यनुकार्यते। यथाम्भसा प्रचलता तरवोऽपि चला इव चक्षुषा भ्राम्यमाणेन दृश्यते भ्रमतीव भूः। यथा मनोरथधियः विषयानुभवो मृषा स्वप्नदृष्टाश्च दाशारः तथा संसार आत्मनः अर्थे हि अविद्यमानेऽपि संसृतिर्न निवर्तते। ध्यायतो विषयानस्य स्वप्नेनर्थागमो यथा तस्माद् उद्धवमा भुङ्क्ष्व विषयान् असदिन्द्रियैः आत्माग्रहणनिर्वातं पश्य वैकल्पिकं भ्रमं क्षिप्तो वमानितो असद्भिः प्रलब्धो सूयतोऽथवा ताडितः सन्निबद्धो वा वृत्त्या वा परिहापितः निष्ठितो मूत्रितो वाग्नैः बहुधैवं प्रकम्पितः श्रेयस्कामः कृच्छ्रगतः आत्मनात्मानमुद्धरेत्। उद्धव उवाच यथैव मनुबुद्धेयं वदनो वदतां वरा सुदुस्सहमिमं मन्ये आत्मन्यसदतिक्रमं विदुषामपि विद्वात्मन् विश्वात्मन् प्रकृतिर्हि बलीयसे ऋते त्वद्धर्मनिरतान् शान्तांस्ते चरणालयान् इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायाम् एकादशस्कन्धे द्वाविंशोऽध्यायः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम, श्रीभागवत शरणं मम, श्रीसद्गुरु शरणं मम, श्रीसूत शरणं मम, श्रीशुकदेव शरणं मम, श्रीव्यासा शरणं मम, श्रीनारद शरणं मम, श्रीकुमार शरणं मम, श्रीब्रह्मा शरणं मम, श्रीविष्णु शरणं मम, श्रीपरब्रह्म शरणं मम, श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम, शरणं मम, शरणं मम। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। ॐ मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं, यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। ॐ कृष्णप्रियं सकलकल्मषनाशनं च मुक्त्येकहेतुमिह भक्तिविलासकारि, सन्तः कथानकमिदं पिबतादरेण, लोके हि तीर्थपरिशीलन सेवया किम्। ॐ नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं, देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादशस्कन्धः। मुक्तिः हित्वा अन्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। अथ द्वाविंशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच। Having saluted all the gurus of Bhagavat Puranam and also Guru Parampara and our own gurus and the Lord, Om Sri Krishnaya Namaha. We are into this Bhagavatam, 22nd chapter. Elaborately, we are trying to see. Here mainly Bhagavan is teaching us how by valuing and giving importance and reality, and by identifying with the Prakriti, we as Jiva keep on doing something or the other and end up in gaining something or the other of this world or the other. This is called is samsara. Then how to do sadhana and what is siddhi is through viveka, when we separate ourselves from all these upadhi nirmita prakriti, prakriti nirmita upadhi and upadhi nirmita vyavahara. When we through viveka separate ourselves, then we get the mukti. That is what the most important shloka. Yesterday we have seen exhaustively 50th one. Prakrutehe evam atmanam avivichya abudah puman. Tatvena sparsha sammudah samsaram pratipadyate. No better and simple way of telling about samsara than this shloka. We are not able to have pause and patience to separate our individual self, true self, from the Prakriti. That we are, because of giving reality to the sparsha and getting deluded in that, attracted in that, falling prey to that, we enter into samsara. Samsara is desiring something, doing something, getting that thing. Again that goes away, again desiring something, again doing something, again getting. In this way, as a karta and bhokta, the one who becomes is samsari. That is, every day, 1,000 times we become like that. In that way, throughout the life, and even after the death, even in new life, when we are born, a new body, that is continuing. That is nirantara pravaha like a nadi, the janma marana. And in between, obviously, depending on the karma done, we are thrown into different yonis. And there, both the karma phala will be there, as well as the situation surroundings will be there. Then again, because of our ignorance of the self, we get influenced by the surroundings. Again we start doing something, again we get bound. In this way we keep on going from one to the other. Bhagavan told all these as three. When we, with a sattva guna tadatmya, involve in sattva guna karma, we go into the yonis of devatas and rishis. And we explain exhaustively. There also, if one is not doing sadhana to know truth, even in the Devaloka, there is continuation of bondage. And as a rishi also, he may become a rishi, he may siddhanta jnani. He may can even have control over prakriti to some extent. He may do some tapasya, he may get some vara and boon, he may even have the siddhis. And yet, it is not equivalent to the mukti gained through Atmanubhava. But as a rishi, one can easily do that if he desires to do. But if he is not desiring, willing, focusing, all his rishi shakti he can use only for a purpose little lower than the mukti. So to the Devaloka, there only are punya, bhoga, enjoyment. In fact, in Devaloka, there is no thought coming only for doing sadhana, knowing self, because everything is good, everything is beautiful, everything is wonderful. All maja maja chal raha hai. With the bhoga deha, there one is enjoying. That's what he worked for when he was on the earth by doing all the Agniyaga Punya Karma. So Sattva Guna we involve in, and we die, we go to those lokas. This thing explained in Gita also, 14th chapter, very beautifully. Urdham gachanti sattvastaha, madhye tishtanti rajasaha, jaghanya gunavrutthistaha, adho gachanti tamasaha. Same here is said here. Sattva-guna go to Deva Rishi Loka. And who are Rishis, what are Devatas? In every Purana, Bhagavatadi, in Ramayana, we are studying their stories. How many Rishis we have heard about. Among some Rishis like Saravanga Ityani, they have discovered the self. They just were waiting for Lord Rama to come. They had Rama Darshanam and interaction with Rama, and then they left Deva like Tucha only. They entered into the Mukti Anubhava. Okay. Then second one, the Rajasa Asura Manusha. With the Rajoguna predominance, he enters into that Manushya Loka where always mind is in Chanchala Svabhava with Sankalpa Kamana Tushnagardhi and keeps on planning and keeps on doing something. No stability. Manushya Loka, even if you want to stay calm, quiet without doing anything, unless one is a Purana sannyasi and entering into Dhyana Avastha, he will not be allowed to stay calm. The Prakriti from inside, the world from outside, the people around pull him only to put into some or the other karma. That's what Rajoguna's Lakshana. So to the Asura Yoni, where they go on moving one place to other and involve only in identifying with Pranamaya Kosha, in eating, drinking, etc. Such type Asura or Manusha Loka, one enters into when one is practicing Rajoguna. After entering into that, he will continue that. Then Tamasa Bhuta Tiryaktvam. Then he will enter into Bhutas, Preta Ityadi or Tiryaktvam Pashu Pakshadi when too much of Tamoguna is there in him. In this way, Karma Bihi Brahmita Yati. As the karma he is doing to eke out the karma phala, Brahmita, moving from one place to other, he keeps on wandering. Now we are in this life. So we have in the Rajaguna Samasthiti, therefore we are thrown here. Then here while living the entire life, whatever we have done, the sum total of all of that, along with the earlier lives also, will be deciding our future life, whether we'll be in Bhuta and Tiryaktam or Manushya Suratvam or even Rishi Devatvam. Clearly given. Now, therefore, what we have to do to get into that Rishitvam, we have to do only one thing of Adhyatmika Shastra Adhyanam Adhyan. The more we study Shastra and contemplate on them, the Sattva-guna gained in us, the desire to know truth gained in us, will push us into a Rishi Oni, where our Antakarana is Shuddha, Antakarana is Ekagra, Antakarana is Sukshma, to pierce through these layers of Maya at various levels and see the truth. So decide you want to be the Rishi Yoni or Devata Yoni or Bhuta Manusha Yoni or Asura Yoni or this Bhuta Yoni or Tiriyaktva Yoni. Bhuta Yoni is for selfishness, even troubling killing others. Tiriyak Yoni is living only at the gross selfish level of the Deha. Manushayoni is working, earning, enjoying, and having little qualities good to help others. Asura Yoni, again, having abilities, knowledges, little bit, but living only to fulfill our Artha Kama. Then Devayoni, lot of punya done to enter into the Bhoga of Swarga. And Rishiyoni, as we said, where we are seeking the truth, where we are trying to understand about that truth. In this way, more and more our mind is molded, then we enter into. Like we live life last 2 years continuously studying. In this way, when you go on continuing, along with more stronger desire to understand Shastra, to meditate, to know the truth, our inner personality will be molded to be given with the Rishi Yoni. And along with that, again, whatever the past we had, वो भी mix हो जाता है. Is it not? And then in this life, while doing so lot of punya, upasana, anushtana, we keep on doing, then maybe that past little bit gets diluted also, whatever it can be. Or even gaining the Rishiyoni and doing sadhana like Rishi, to the Dehadi Upadhi, whatever the karma phala has to come, it comes and it goes. So, at that level, that person goes through all prarabdha, sukha, dukkha of the worldliness, yet he will not compromise with his adhyatmika adhyanam as well as sadhana. That continues till the residues of vasanas go away. And along with that, if he is intense in pursuit of goal, then his understanding, his conviction, his inner purification, his hours of meditation, his depth in understanding, comprehending convincingly about the mayatva of the jagat, unreality of jagat, mithyatva of the jagat, and the reality of the self. These things become more spashta to him. Like it is said in Kathopanishad, Chaya tapayoriva brahmaloke yatha darshe tathatmani yatha swapne tatha pitaloke, then gandharva loke. So, as it is said in that Kathopanishad example, in each of the loka, brahmaloka, pitruloka, gandharva loka, manushya loka, four are given. In the brahmaloka, it is like the reflection of your face in the mirror. In so much spashta rupa, you know yourself in brahmaloka. In another loka, it is like the pratibimba in the water, hazy is there. Means in that loka, our intellects will be so in that way to be able to or not be able to perceive the self. So this is how we can. It's so now such a clear picture is given to us as to why we are born here or there. Is it not? Now wherever you want to gain your janma, then to some extent it is in your hands, at least from now on. Therefore, the one who understands and tries to wipe the past negativity, who understands the preciousness of the present and fully becomes active and dynamic, and in that active and dynamicness, knowing that what he wants to become in the future, for that sake, when he works, he is a matured person. Is it not? See, it's an intelligent thing. Like tomorrow I have to be healthy, strong. So today I have to eat. In the eating, if the food is not of becoming healthy and strong, if it is only of becoming lazy and weak, tomorrow I will become like that. So today's food leads to me tomorrow's health and strong and alertness or weakness, laziness, disease. So I must decide it. In the same way, this lives my every thought, word, and deed is becoming like a seed where it will sprout out as plant out or fruit out or flower out for my future life. So be careful about it. When the picture is so clear like this, we must have choice perfectly made and accordingly live the life. Okay, this is what Shastras tell. If you don't study the Shastra, only we are in the Bhautika Shastras of the Jagat. None of these things we know, and in a blindness, we keep on living life misguided by others, entertain all the desires in mind of animals and Rakshasas. They become so strong vasanas. Later on, when we die, go to the Amalas. उतना कितना भी उनके सामने चिल्लाओ गिड़गिड़ाओ, अरे मेरे को नहीं पता था, किसी ने बोला नहीं मुझे, I was unnecessarily was carried away by those wrong people. Oh, Yamaraj, please forgive me. कुछ भी कोई says, no, you did, you have to go through. So why give him a chance to trouble us like that? Why cannot we take the right choice? All is in intellect only, in its discrimination and right choice. Discrimination is as to what can be lived, the both paths of Shreyas and Preyas. Then taking the right choice of Shreyas, that is intellect. If we can that way every moment decide only for Shreyas and do only for Shreyas, nobody, including God, can put us in the lower yonis. Other way around, if you have not chosen Shreyas but you have chosen Preyas, nobody, including God, can help us. That's it. This is what is the portion Bhagavan Krishna is dealing with to teach Uddhavji and all of us. And the main topic remains same, that the Prakriti is the one in which all modifications happen, and we with non-discrimination get entangled into that with attachment and suffer as Jiva, or with discriminating power we can detach from it, allow it to go through whatever it is, but we can remain as Sakshi and Drashta as well as remain as our own self untouched by everything. That is the main topic. So now comes, he gave us the examples of three slokas. Nutyato gayatah pasyan yataivanu karotitan evam buddhi gunan pasyan aniho bhi anukaryate. Aniha, desireless, actionless is a self in me. Because of the proximity with the buddhi, all the buddhis, sankalpa, vikalpa, all the buddhis, karma and karma phala are as if taken as mine. The moment they are taken as mine, I became jiva. The moment I am trying to be a Sakshi, Drashta, I am becoming Sadhaka. If I have gained that Sakshitva, Drashtutva, and also remained aloof, untouched by it, then I become the self. And when I fully focus on the self, even that Sakshitva is not required, even the Buddhi and these Prakriyas also, or its modifications also, are not perceivable also. They are not there. Example given is what? Nutyataha gayataha pashyan yata eva anukaroti tan. When somebody is dancing or singing or playing instrument, we just see, and when we are not alert and controlling about ourselves, we also just do the anukarana of that. So too, when the prakriti is working, when we do the anukarana of that prakriti, we became jiva. When we are remaining aloof, then that is not touching us. At higher level, there is no prakriti, there is no upadhis, there is no prakriti's modification, there is no upadhi identity with that. That is the highest level of totally transcending the vasanas and the avidyas. Vasana through karma bhakti ashtanga yoga, avidya through the jnana yoga of ekameva advayam brahma. It's not only theory. Theory with logic, with all examples, followed by so deeply one is in dhyanam, where he is lifting his identity from all upadhis by rejecting them through neti, neti, neti. When he reaches to that state of being, he will say nothing. Like when you see from distance the snake with the hood and the tail and its body and its hissing, all of them are same. But when you go closer and observe it deeply and come to the true experience of it, you will have a totally different picture. That it is no snake anywhere, it is only pure rope. In the same way, at the deepest level of meditation, other than Sachidananda Brahma Tattva, there is no thing existing at all. If at all is there, there is nothing but Paramatma alone, with or without purpose, appearing as a word. Without purpose is Leela, with the purpose is for the sake of Jiva. Otherwise, it is not real. Like every pot is unreal, it's only mud is real. With a purpose, the mud is appearing as pot. Is it not? With a purpose, the mud on the earth is appearing somewhere as tree, somewhere as a mountain. These are all appearance of the mud only for the sake of some purpose. Then the whole Deha also is appearance of Panchamahabhutas only for the sake of some purpose. Otherwise, neither the body is real, nor the Panchamahabhutas become like that. In reality, appear as long as the purpose is there. When you have the purpose in the house, you allow it to stay. When it's over, you break it. It's not there. For purpose sake only they are there. And all purposes are illusory. All born out of ignorance. Because every purpose is nothing but wanting to be sukhi, wanting to be anandi. That sukha, ananda is already our sarupa. Instead of knowing it like that, we just imagine that purpose is gained through something or the other. Then we go on making all conditions, all limitations, all the upadhis. Actually, in सब के भी जरूरत नहीं है. This is how when one studies Shastras and opens up his intellect, at every level of question or every level of perception, he clearly understands what is right, what is wrong, what is true, what is unreal. Second sloka told us, Yatha ambasa prasalata taropi chalayva chakshusha brahmyamanena dushyate brahmativa bhuhu. See, when the ambasa prasalata taropi chalayva, this example of, let us say, what is given here is, in the boat, in the water, you are moving ahead. When you look at the banks, all the trees, they are going back. This is in the modern world when we are in train, sitting near the window and looking at outside. All the trees are going back, going back. So interesting, you can see. Literally, it appears that they are running behind. पीछे भाग रहे हैं वो लोग. What a Brahma, dekho. They are so stationary, they are not moving, but they appear to be moving only. Whereas we train is moving ahead. And that relative movement is so funny. Yeah, that if I am in a train going with 80 kilometer speed, and there is another track parallel to me, and that train speed is 60 kilometer, that also moving in same direction. But because my train speed is 80 and it's 60, when my train overtaking that train appears to be going back, whereas it's going ahead only. Is it not? All when you overtake the vehicles and all, they appear to go back. They're not going back. Your speed is more, therefore it seems like that. So your pratyaksha anubhava is trees are going back. Your pratyaksha anubhava is that other train is going back. Other cars are going back. Pratyaksha anubhava. But is it true? That means even the pratyaksha anubhava is there, yet on inquiry you will find that it is not true. What is not true? The trees are not going back, train is not going back, the cars, scooters are not going back. In the same way, the self is not the doer of anything. Who is doing is all the upadhis. What is that? Evam buddhi gunan pasyan aniha abhi anukaryate. Though he has no karya chesta in him, it appears that he is doing it too. This is one example of all that. Second is same like chakshusha brahmyamanena drishyate brahmativa bhu. दिस बचपन में हम इतना करते थे कि नहीं, ऐसे बिना स्टॉप किए 1 2 3 मिनट के लिए घूमते 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 रहते. Small children, if they are really enjoying it, good, but other रोएंगे वो. Lift them and घूमो 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 3 मिनट उनको छोड़ो, they will see the whole earth is moving only. एंड चक्कर जब आता है, शुगर लो लेवल डाउन होता है, यू कैन सी दैट भूमि इज घूम रहा है. Whereas there's an illusory aspect in the eyes which appears the bhumi is moving. In other way also, bhumi is really moving with some thousands of kilometers of speed. But we are on the earth, look like we are stationary. Everything is like that. And we are all walking on the earth. But from the ultimate thinking standpoint, we are only crawling like a lizard on the wall. Because the earth is elliptical. इज इट नॉट? एलिप्टिकल है तो जैसे छिपकली करते वैसे हम चल रहे हैं, बट ऐसा लगता नहीं वो. because of the distance and all. Anyway, this is how examples are given to show us effect of illusoriness where something is happening somewhere but is imposed on something else. So too, where are all modifications happening in the Prakriti? Who am I? I'm only Drashta Sakshi. Now, how many states are there here? As I told yesterday very exhaustively, the Vasanas are there, Prakriti is there. As long as Vasanas are there, the Prakriti gets modified. The one to whom the Vasanas belong, he definitely gets identified with them. That portion is called Samsara. Now we want to get into Sadhana and Siddhi. In our Sadhana and Siddhi, what is to then? The force of Vasanas have to be reduced. At that time, what to do? Reduce the desired prompted activities. At the same time, because of the vasanas, when the prakriti goes on getting modified, here prakriti means our upadhis, I with this wisdom has to learn to stand apart, and this way allow the vasana to get exhausted by its influence on the prakriti called the upadhis. I am not involved. The moment we involve, then I become the karta bhokta, then the new vasanas are created. The exhaustion of vasanas never happen. Then those vasanas continue to change the prakriti or upadhi, and we are bound to get identified with that. So, what is the main slokas here? Main thought, Prakrutehe evam atmanam avivichya. The 50th sloka is main. We are doing separation of ourselves from the Prakriti. He is called Buddha. The one who is not able to do is Abuddha. To such person, what happens? Here, Tattvena Sarpa Sparsha Sammuda Samsaram Pratipadyate. We saw it exhaustively yesterday. What's the sadhana to be done is, because of vasana, prakriti mein sab changes are rahe, I am only drashta. That's what said in Gita. Indriyani indriyarteshu vartante iti dharayana in one place. Indriyasya indriyasya arte raga dvesha vyavastu in another place. Is it not? खुद संकल्प नहीं करना और अपने आप जब हो रहा है तो उसका साक्षी दृष्टा के रूप में रहना. कीप प्रैक्टिसिंग इट. सो चक्षुषा भ्राम्यमाणेन दृश्यते भ्रमतीव भूः. So we have to develop that choice given to us of remaining aloof from whatever is happening in and around as a drashta and sakshi. And this is what is done on the dhyana sthiti, in your own aloneness when you are doing sadhana pakka. But in another timings where you are in the world as a responsible person, there just conduct all the duties without disturbing that flow. Usko रहने दो. You are a grahastha, do all your grahastha dharmas in those activities at that time as per the demand requirement. But you have your own personal time, the time chosen for your own sadhana, उस समय यह सब करते रहना है. So thus, through bhakti, samadhi vasanas are exhausted. Through yoga, some are exhausted and burnt. Through jnana, some are eliminated and transcended. And by performing in the life as a dharmika vyakti, depending on varna ashrama, we exhaust all of them. In this way, with all the helps of sadhanas, you have to see that the stock of all vasanas in us go away. And what helps while doing this is our nirantara chintana about our swarup. Because ये सब करके स्वरूप चिंतन नहीं हुआ तो again we go back to identify with some or the other upadhi. And goal should always be remembered. That's it. Param Brahma Nityam Sadevaham Asmi. Param Brahma Nityam Tadevaham Asmi. See that in the Nirvana Manjari. And today we started another text in Telugu, Brahma Jnana Valiva Mala, such an important text. That is what? Ahamevaham Avyaha, Ahamevaham Avyaha, Ahamevaham Avyaha. Continuously that. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham. That should be the stronghold for us. Because and to reach and experience that Chidananda Rupa Shivatva of mine, for that only all Shastra, for that only all sadhana done. So holding that, never forgetting that, we have to do all these things. लक्ष्य भूल गए तो फिर ज्यादा देर हम साधना नहीं कर सकते. लक्ष्य रिमेम्बरेंस एंड लव फॉर द लक्ष्य and the commitment and conviction that I must reach. That's what the Lakshya of Sita and Rama. She wants him to come and protect her, and he wants to go and protect her after killing Ravana. They never gave up till they achieved it. In the same way, till I achieve my selfhood, I will not give up. I will not allow anything to overpower me. That should always be there, thought in continuously in the heart. कभी भूल गए हो लक्ष्य को, सेकंड टाइम नहीं लगता है माया को हमें खींच कर फेंक देगा इस दुनिया में ऐसे जीवा करता भोगता. That much alertness is a result of years of study of Shastra, staying all alone with yourself. If that is not done, then these all things won't click to us. For us, that time sadhana means कोई जाओ क्लास में बैठो, कभी मंदिर जाके मत्था टेको, कोई पूजा करो, कोई प्रसाद खा लेना, कोई पंडित जी को दान दे देना, कोई फेस्टिवल आते हैं तो उस दिन ज़्यादा मिठाई बना के खा लेना. This is what we mean by spirituality. So lowest, grossest level. Only the study of Shastra tells pakka what is goal and sadhana and keeps us in touch with that if we are regular. There's no other way. So, now, yatha ambasa prachalata taro apichala iva chakshusha brahmyamanena drishyate brahmativa bhu. Now, after this, in this 54, one topic, and 55, 56 other topic. In the 54, we are given now the essence of entire Mandukya Upanishad, which we are studying for more than 1 year. Luckily for you and me, because we are exposed to that, it becomes relatively easy at least to feel what is said here. Those who are not studied, it becomes a struggle. Not impossible, but with their struggle, they can understand. What is that said here? Ki yatha manoratha dhiyaha vishayanubhavo mrusha swapna drushta sadasharha tata samsara atmanah yatha manoratha dhiyaha vishayanubhavo mrusha sapna drustascha dasharaha tata samsara atmanaha. Again, in this one shloka, the more we spend time and ponder over, some subtle secrets, truths are revealed to us. Just like in that shloka also, Prakrutireva Atmanam Avichyabuddha Puman Tatvena Sparsha Sammodaha Samsaram Pratipadyate. We saw here also. One by one word, first literal meaning, and then what is the indicated meaning, then what has to be done regard to that. Word meaning, yatha means just like. Manoratha dhiyaha, of the buddhi which is doing manoratha. In that manoratha, for that buddhi, there is Vishaya Anubhava. Manoratha is neither dream, nor sleep, nor waking. So dream, sleep are not there. But in the waking, not using the senses to see the world, though he is in waking, but in the mind only. He is doing his own manoratha. In that मनोरथ we go to different places. जो ना बस में बैठकर ऐसे घर के जो भी बातें लड़ाई करके आए या कहीं जा रहे कुछ फंक्शन में. So you imagine that I am going to marriage somebody's, then they will welcome me, they will make me sit and all that. He is not sleeping, he is not dreaming, he is not consciously doing something with sense organs with the gross body in a sthula jagat, but he is in his own mind's imaginary life, imaginary world. That's called manoratha. मन रूपी रथ में बैठकर अलग अलग स्थान पे जाना, अलग अलग समय पे. The manoratha is such a ratha, it takes us to different places and different timings also. You can trace back to 20, 30 years and remember an incident, and you can plan and imagine it as if it has happened something else. बैठे बैठे ही anything it can be. What examples I can give? Even about future also one can imagine, plan that I'll shift my house to that place and beautiful palatial house I'll have, and it will have all facilities inside like a Maharaja is staying that. Manoratha hota hai. As I told you, the girls have the manoratha, the unmarried. I'll marry him, I go with him, and I stay in that house, and it will be such a queenly life. He will take me to every place and all that wonderful enjoy. She's not dreaming. She's not in Nidra. And it has not happened. But she has imagined about the future on the Ratha called as the Mana. And that is soft, sometimes very happy also, entertaining, enjoying also. Sometimes very sad, miserable also. कुछ भी हो सकता है. Is it not? The child has not written exams properly. Then you'll have a manoratha, he is failed and progress card is given. Then everybody is laughing at him, he comes home. Even parents, parents also cheat, also feel scolding and all that. Then throughout life, he will be labeled that in that class he failed for so many. Many children commit suicide because of this. मैं फेल हो गया तो लोगों को पता चलता है तो कैसे मेरा बेइज्जती करेंगे. With that मनोरथ they jump into what? Bad manoratha also I am saying. So the manoratha is explained. Okay. Now yatha manoratha diyaha vishaya anubhavaha. And that you can do the anubhava also. Like as I said, somebody really insulted seeing your progress card and you become miserable at that time, that you experience the misery here also at the time of imagination. Kuch nahi hua wahan. Lekin you feel so sad in your heart as you really insulted by everybody. अनुभव हो गया. Now the question is what? He is that Vishayas and is that Vishaya Anubhava? Is it real? लगा तो real, लेकिन मृषा. That which appeared but not real is called mrusha. So the example is clear. Yatha manoratha diyaha Vishaya Anubhavaha mrusha. Just like the experiences at the time of manoratha are unreal. Example 1. Second is very familiar. I need not repeat it. Swapna dushtaha cha. Dasharha means Dasharha Vamshastha. Dasharha is one of the king in Krishna's earlier clan. So Krishna is calling Uddhava as Dasharha. A Dasharha, Swapna Drushtaha Vishayanubhavaha. All the Anubhavas of this Swapna also. And this is how exhaustively we studied in Mandukyam. Fourth Karika was dealing with that. Third also was dealing. Second, what's that? Agama, then Vaitatya Prakarana was starting with this only, taking example of Swapna only. He should know Swapra Druk Vishya Charan Dikshu Vai Dashastitan Andajan Svedjan Vapi Jivan Pashriyan Sada. This is how in the Alata Shanti Prakarana Visa. In the earlier also same. So what is the main thing? Swapna Drushtaha. In the Swapna, you see the different deshas, nagaras, prantas, villages, deserts, oceans, rivers, mountains, jungles, highly dense cities, your own entertaining casinos, whatever you call them. Even you go to temples, these are called desha. स्वप्न में भी काल होता है. सुबह हुआ, उठे, दोपहर हुआ, फिर सो गए, फिर शाम को हुआ, उठे, फिर इस क्लास में आ गए, सो गए, फिर क्लास में के बाद एक घर जाके सो गए. You know, in Swapna also you have seen Desha Kala, you have seen Vastus. Swapna also you will see all the Vastu. You go to the ice cream parlor and you order for sugar-free ice cream and add sugar to it and eat it. अपनी मस्ती है. In the Swapna also you have seen Vyakti. So many Vyaktis you see, and with them Sambandha. You will see the Bandhu, you will see the Jnati, you also see the Mitra, you see the Shatru. In Mitra mein, the Padai wale Mitra, neighbor wale Mitra, club wale Mitra, the official Mitra. You see all of them. You can have even a sapna mein, ek dog bhi, your own pet dog. You will see a chain also to that dog. And dog is pulling you and making you walk in the morning. That also you can see. What is not seen in the Swapna? Daso? Everything. There also floods can happen. The helicopter chopper can fall down. युद्ध भी हो सकता है वहाँ दो nations के बीच में. Everything in the Swapna experience. And it is so real at that time. Every experience of lava, hani, sukha, dukkha, all of that, jay, parajay. But actually, if you see, not only when you wake up, they are not there, but even in the dream also, really they were not there, but they were all, remember, the projection of the mind. That was the entire second prakarana of Mandukya when it tried to show it is Vaitatya. What was the examples they were given, if you remember? Ki, if the experience, the dream is real, which place you went, when you wake up, you should find yourself there. But you don't find yourself there. You are only on the bed or on the below the bed where you fell. Second thing what was said, in the dream when you met that person, if it is real, when you wake up, you call that person and say, yaar, hum kal mile the party kiye the. You should accept it or no. Third thing was told was, in the Swapna, you went and was given a gift there. It is really the gift giving and taking is real. When you get up, that gift should be around there. क्या चार दोस्तों को मिले अपने स्वप्न में तो रियल होता तो उठ के उसको फोन करो ना. That was a lot of examples. These are all logics were given. What was second explanation logic was given, if you remember? In Swapna, you go to America and come. See, that Swapna happens only for 3-5 minutes maximum. No, in 3 or 5 minutes में कोई अमेरिका जाकर आएगा क्या? उतना टाइम किधर है वहाँ? So there he used that desha kala required to reach as the pramana to say that how much you didn't sleep that much time that you really went to US and came. But in dream you go and come. उतना time कहाँ था वो? Then other example they were given us, in dream you get a hathi or pahad. No, hathi and pahad are so big. How can they enter that spot in your own nervous system where because of some particular conditioning and tickling, the experience of the pahad and hathi happened. It's a very small portion of the nervous system. There the dream is experienced. It's very micro and minute. और उसमें इतना हाथी पहाड़ कहाँ से आया? So all this we thoroughly studied in कारिकासा वैतथ्य, if you remember. I थोड़ा remember किया मैं share कर रहा हूँ इस तरह. That is why the need of studying those shastra with bhashya. Again and again, again and again. Then the thick ignorance and imagination about this world as real goes away. Then only importance given goes away. Then only samsara goes away. Then only we can turn toward the self and discover it and experience that blissful state. So the second example of Swapna Drushtascha Dasharha. As these two examples, Manorath and Swapna, there one more given was the called the Jadugar, the magician's magic. And one more, see there, Swapna, Maya, Manoratha. Then the fourth one is what? The Jadugaru. Fifth one is Gandharva Nagari. The five things are told in us to us. Gandharva Nagari is the seen city on the clouds, as if there is a city only at a particular moment on the clouds. लगता भी आपको राजा हाथी में जा रहे हैं, पीछे सारे सैनिक जा रहे हैं, गंधर्व नगर कहते हैं, बट है ही नहीं, वो थोड़ा हवा गया, बाद में हिल गए, सब गॉन. Manoratha we know, Swapna we understood. The Maya is the magician's magic. Is it not? He does such a magic that thing which is not there is made to be seen by us. He makes us see. विचित्र. इंद्रजाल कहते हैं उसको. इंद्रजाल, महेंद्रजाल, गजकर्ण, गोकर्ण, टक्कुटमार विद्याएं, ये सब होते हैं शास्त्रों में. How the people learn all those tricks, magics. Trick and magic is nothing but mesmerizing us with some actions, movements, and words, and doing something without knowledge. ये कोई भी हर दिन करते हैं. The wife does to the husband at magic and takes pocket money from him. That's one of the Maya. That fellow, then to her words, he really feels so happy, he gives. Like we do the Maya with our Guru also. Swamiji, tomorrow I am getting stomach ache, therefore I am not going to come to class. Tomorrow. Swami is also so innocent, says, "Theek hai beta, you have a future drishti." And he being a Swami and always loving, he says, "Tadhastu." Really? He thought stomach ache के नाम पे क्लास बंक करके और कहीं घूमेंगे. गुरु ने कहा था तो रियली स्टमक एक, ना घूमा ना क्लास में आया, suffered only stomach ache. Now I told you very subtle thing in this. There are always tathastu devatas and the Guru Shakti. Any wrong thing if you tell them, they say tathastu हो जाता है वो. बेकार में वैसा मत करना कि after 1 week I am going to have fever, therefore I am not going to come to class. They say tathastu, definitely will have. By the way, so this is how. But after giving so many examples, the conclusion is what? Tata samsaraha atmanaha mrusha. In the same way, the samsara of कर्तृत्व एंड भोक्तृत्व एंड कर्मफल के लिए जन्म लेना मरण करना, ये सारे शुद्ध आत्मा के लिए मृषा है, नहीं है. To me, the real self, there is no samsara. And this one point that Atmana samsara nasti, taken as main thing. And in all these texts, like I said, the Prakana Grantha, Brahma Gnanavali Mala, or this Vedanta Dinima, on that only Shankar Bhagavan so forcefully hits, because that is the essence. He tries to convey this thought so strongly to us through all those writings. And in all through, what is he doing? He is doing Nishedha of the Anatma or Prakriti and Vidhi or identifying or Anvayata of the pure self. And they are such a treasure for us. Adi Shankara Bhagavan's, all the texts of Anvaya Vyatireka Sadhana, such a treasure to us if we really make right use of them. Okay? Now, whole thought is what? Yatha manoratha diha vishayanubhava murusha, yatha swapna drushtascha vishayanubhava murusha, he dasharha, tata atmana samsara api murusha. This is logical. Because it's murusha, don't value. When you don't value, slowly it recedes from your perception. When you focus attention on the self, you discover self. When the self is discovered, actually you know it is not so. So if it is a snake, it should move. Is it moving? It's not moving. It should hiss. Is it hissing? No. Therefore, there is no real snake. Then there's something else. And what it is? Now focus on that. You see carefully. Then when you see carefully, you find it, the rope. Once you see the rope, there's no snake only. That is a conviction. That is the experience. So to the world and involvement of the world as a jiva is real. But yeah, it is not real. It is like Swapna and Manoratha and Maya and Udaka, other Gandharva Nagari. Then what is real? Real is the self. Where is that? It in your own self. What to do? Meditate on that. Discover it. When you discover and look back and see, really there's no world. Yadda Atma Anubhava Sthiti, other than Atma Vastu, nothing else in the universe. That alone in all forms. When you discover water as water, nothing else other than water, whether it is in the river or ocean or in the ice block or in the glacier or in the waters of the raindrops, कहीं भी देखो पानी ही है. Once you discover the mud in all the pots, in all the gamla, in all those mud made items, only mud and mandala. The difference between these exclusive examples and Paramatma everywhere is, in these examples, only one material is there. Like in all parts, mud alone, in all ornament, gold alone, in all the waves, water alone. Only one. But in the Srushti, you see millions of things. That's the only thing you have to sort out. What is the answer for that? Even all those millions of things also are expression of the ignorance or Maya only. Just like with mud, the pot shapes are different, sizes are different. You can make it, no? In the same way, in the absence of knowledge of self, that ignorance has a capacity, which is called as Maya, to create the entire world of million varieties. That's how you have to understand it. The power in the Maya is to appear in so many ways. Like the power in the mud can be made it to be appeared in so many ways. So far, the human being has created these many things out of the mud with his imagination. कल के दिन और भी लोग आएंगे और भी बनाएंगे. Like we told you the example, till today, from the gold, these are the ornaments we could make. Now, tomorrow somebody comes and make newer and newer, not only ornaments, but other things also with the gold. So the possibilities in the gold to appear as various things is infinite. But in spite of that, the gold is one without second. But all appearances are gold, may hai, on the gold a substratum, but none of them are real. Gold alone is real. In the pure gold, there are no shapes, colors, forms, ornaments. So in the pure self, they are not there. But if at all you see any one of them, you have to know that all of them are gold alone. The one not seeing gold as gold has imagined some ornament on that and he is making it like that and is wearing it. Even though he is doing all of that, gold has not changed. It is a false word to say that I am wearing ornament. It is a false word to say that I am carrying the pot. We are wearing only the gold and we are carrying only the mud. That is where we have to sort out in our deep understanding. What is deep understanding? Fact is there is only gold worn, only the mud carried. Okay, for the sake of Vyavahara, as ornament and as a pot there. Don't give reality to the pot to the extent of forgetting the mud. So to don't give reality to the world to the extent the self is forgot. In the beginning, we are in that stage. Reality given to the world, reality is forgotten. Take the world as real and really doing, really suffering. In the Shastra Jnana, first withdraw from the world by Viveka, Prakriti se alag jao, Tattva ko jano. After that, you play in the world without any difference, without any reality given to the seen differences. Mazidar baat. Now comes this most crucial shloka number 55. इसको आप by heart कर लेना. As I told you, हम top 25 shlokas of entire Bhagavat Puran. This is the essence of whatever is spoken so far by the Lord. By the way, what is Lord speaking? The प्रकृति में फंस कर जीव suffer हो रहा है. Then the jiva should learn the art to detach himself from Prakriti. Then know his essential nature. Then he is a mukta. This is what Prakriti Viveka Dwara Mukti according to Sankhya. In Vedanta, when you reach the self, there is no Maya, there is no Prakriti, there is nothing other than it is Ekemevadvayam Brahma. Sankhya's consider that as the Mukti where the Jiva is withdrawn is getting caught up in the Prakriti. Vedanta says we don't do so because if the Prakriti has duality is there other than me, anytime it will attack and there is a chance for me to get bound. So for in Vedanta, there is nothing other than Brahma, Ekamevadvyam Brahma, no giving chance for even Prakriti to attack, if not today, attack after even millions of lives. क्योंकि दूसरा कोई भी है वस्तु व्यक्ति आज नहीं तो कल वो इन्फ्लुएंस करेगा. Second thing in Vedanta, the two, if they are there, one limits the other. Then one limits the other, it's a bondage, it cannot do liberation. Therefore, if there is any Prakriti other than the Purusha is bound because there is otherness. In Vedanta, liberation is when there is only one without second is there. That is a small difference. Small means very huge. Actually, one difference, but very huge one. Between the Mukti spoken by the Vedantin, Mukti spoken by the Sankhyans, which they do the withdrawal from the Prakriti. That way they are very highest stage. But they continue parallelly. Purush bhi hai, Prakriti bhi hai. Then they accept so many Purushas. And among those so many Purushas, the one who is ended to Prakriti is Jiva suffering. The one who is withdrawn from Prakriti, he is got liberated. वो ऐसे बात करते हैं. In Vedanta, we say only conscious self is there. Ekamevadvyam Brahma. Neha Nanasti includes not even Maya there. इस तरह से नाउ स्टडी द मंत्र लिटिल मीनिंग विल सी अर्थे ह्यविद्यमानेऽपि संश्रुतिर्न निवर्तते ध्यायतो विषयानस्य स्वप्नेनर्थागमो यथा अर्थे ह्यविद्यमानेऽपि संश्रुतिर्न निवर्तते ध्यायतो विषयानस्य स्वप्ने अनर्थागमो यथा. What an important shloka. See that one? Feel the meaning, not so difficult at all. Easy only, can be understood. अर्थे ही अविद्यमानेऽपि संस्कृतिर्न निवर्तते ध्यायतः विषयानस्य स्वप्ने अनर्थागमो यथा. Such a wonderful fact it is, but we have to put effort to digest it. Simple literal meaning I tell you, then you feel what is meant. Arthe hi avidyamane api. Arthe means the objects. Arthe means the meaning or purpose or what we are seeking, that one. Avidyamane api, even though it is not there. Artha means object. Artha means purpose. Artha means what we expect. अविद्यमान नहीं है उसमें, फिर भी संस्कृति ही न निवर्तते. Still the samsara is not going away of disturbance in the mind, struggling. The example is what? Though there is no snake, arte avidyamanepi samsrutir na nivartate, the fear is not going away. Though there is no snake, but there is a fear. Arte avidyamanepi, there is no world at all of the dream really, but samsruti have all experience of dream. कभी तो इतने सपने में जो अनुभव से इतने पसीने पसीने हो जाते हैं, when that fellow gets up really is full of sweat. कुछ कुछ लोग तो ऐसे शॉकिंग एक्सपीरियंस ड्रीम में होकर उससे उठते हैं, देन फॉर सम टाइम दे चिल्लाते भी हैं, हदर सर हैरान कि क्या हुआ. स्टिल इज इन दैट मूड फॉर 5-6 सेकंड्स कि सम शेर पीछे पड़ रहा है या कोई पानी में डूब गया है. That is samsara, which is happening though arthe avidyamanaha, the object is not there. That's the power of Maya. That is what is happening now. So in this arthe avidyamane भी संस्कृत निवर्तते, बीच में बहुत सारे चीजें हैं. First is arthe avidyamane, second appearing as vidyamana, third taking as real, fourth involving in that, therefore getting the result called as samsruti. Samsruti is samsara, samsara of the limitation, samsara of trying to go for sukha and getting the dukkha. That's why I said important shloka. कुछ है ही नहीं है परमात्मा के अलावा, फिर भी लगता है सब कुछ है और सब हो रहा है ऐसा लग रहा है. Other than the Paramatma, nothing. But at the individual level, we have Panchakosha. At the total level, such a Ananta Koti Brahmanda. And in the individual Panchakosha, so many are happening. In the Brahmanda, so many are happening. But from the Shuddha Atma Drishti, एक कुछ है ही नहीं इसमें. लेकिन when you take it as real, samsruti, and as long as we take as real, that samsruti nani vartate, it goes, it will not go away. And how that non-existing is appearing as existing, the appearance is appearing as real, and the real is appearing as continuous, constant, and permanent, and also appearing as it has sukha to give me. Therefore, I am getting tempted, I am running for it, and entering into the samsara of continuously using the upadhis, looking at the world, taking the world as real, trying to get the world by using again the upadhi, and with other upadhis, enjoying the world which is gained. ने किचन में गए, सारा खाना बनाया, बढ़िया मजेदार आया, खुद भी खाए, सबको खिलाए. Where? In the dream. Why all that is happening? Second line, very important. It's simpler than simplest, but real. The most important. याद रखो, दुनिया में या आध्यात्मिकता में सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें बहुत सिंपल होते हैं. Because it is so simple, we don't give importance. सबसे important, simple. Like the most important thing in life is just surrender to the Guru. It is so simple, but we don't do it. We have lots of ifs and buts and questions and whys and hows, by which we just put a thick opaque medium between Guru and us that we don't receive his blessings. Simple, but very highly important. Because it is simple, we don't value it. Therefore, that highest importance or the utility, we don't get it. Such way is this sentence. What is that? Dhyayataha vishayan asya. दी अंतकरण जो फिलहाल हमारा है, उसको परमात्मा ध्यान के द्वारा परमात्मा में मर्ज करो, परमात्मा बन जाओगे. सिंपल. By using our antakarna to meditate on the self, the antakarna merges in the self and I discover myself. I was riding the antakarna. Same antakarna which is now there. When you merge in the self, it is not there. Now it is there. When it is used for the dhyanam of the Vishayas, all the non-existing things appear. Dhyayato Vishayan Asya is the one which we were saying the most important. That's what Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangasteshu Upajayate. Krishna told in the most gross external form, where because you are thinking of the object, then you develop the desire, you get caught up. It is subtler than that is what here your mind's hallucination, imagination only making the world as if appear and real. Dhyayata Vishayan Asya. And the dhyana is done by antakarna. If that antakarna, which is stuff only, functionally again it is four. I am not using four names. I am just saying antakarna. If that is not coming into the picture of doing the Vishaya Dhyanam, then the whole world never exists. We will never have the samsara. Like in Nidra. अंतकरण उठा ही नहीं, वो कोई विषय का ध्यान किया ही नहीं, इसलिए जगत नहीं. But the bijas are there in Nidra. Therefore, once the hours of Nidra are over, 9 hours, we are thrown out of that Nidra. Immediately, the manak functional it becomes and he starts doing dhyanam and everything as if real. अब देखो सुबह का क्लास मांडुक्य एंड अदर केल्प ले लो, तो in fact what was yesterday is not at all today, but in our hurriedness we think the things are same, people are same, objects are same. अरे हर पल बदल रहा है पूरी दुनिया, बट सब वही मानकर, ये अलग इल्यूजन है. इट्स अ वेरी हाई लेवल दैट शुड नॉट बी डिस्कस्ड नाउ because it will disturb our daily vyavahar. You know what I was half an hour back is not the same. Not you too, not the atmosphere. काल बदला, देश बदला, वस्तु, व्यक्ति, मन, बुद्धि सब बदला है. बट वो सो स्लोली होता है, वो उसको हम पहचानते नहीं. That's what said in the yesterday's Davido's class about the kala. In fact, that's the one which is making us bound in the world. But वो क्लास हम और कभी लगाएंगे, अभी नहीं. After 5-6 years, when we become very ripened, now we are in raw stage, very ripened in our purifying antakarana through all sadhana, and that time we will be telling. Keep movement to movement, the entire thing is changing, the changeless only the self. Abide in that changeless self. That's it. But yaha arte hi avidyamane pe samsrutirna nivardate. It is a sad thing, sadly expressed by the Guru, Krishna. While expressing, he is feeling pity for us. He is feeling sad for us. He is feeling sorrow for us. He is in looking at us with a laugh and smile and sarcastically, humorously. You can fill up all emotions in Lord Krishna while he says this sentence. क्या है वो? बेचारा कुछ है ही नहीं रे बाबा, फिर भी तुम संसार में फंसे हो. That can be a sad way of saying. हंसते भी पता ना, अरे पागल कुछ था ही नहीं, कुछ है ही नहीं. How can you are entering into samsara? In a very pitiable manner, कुछ है ही नहीं रे बाबा, how are you entering into samsara? गंभीरता से, hey, there is nothing. How can you enter into samsara there? अर्थे अविद्यमाने हैं. How can you samsruti entering? Then we ask him, how is it happening, sir? Dhyayato Vishayan Asya. And the antakarana and thinking of the Vishaya with the dhyana, please remember, though to some extent depending on the pressure of our vasanas, but large extent it is in our hands. Because we can bypass the power, force and vasanas and can do the dhyana of whatever we want. Or we have to bring our level, life's level to that level of reduced influence of the vasanas. Powerful vasanas को exhaust कर दो, अब mediocre vasanas है. Like powerful floods are there, you can't swim across. But after some time when the floods reduce, though the flood is there, water is flowing, you can swim out. So to very powerful vasana, it will not allow you to think about. But थोड़ा slow हो गया, then you can understand that it is my thinking with my antakarana that the world is created. Now instead of thinking about the world, I will think about the reality. That change you can bring. That's what, instead of Vishaya Dhyanam, you can do Vishayi Dhyanam. The Vishayi is the Atma in me. अर्थे हि अविद्यमाने में संस्कृतिर न निवर्तते ध्यायतो विषयानस्य. It's a basic root point. Okay. Now the grosser expression is again by the same Krishna to the other disciple Arjuna at a lower level. He is the highest level. It is highest level is where he is a relaxed mood teaching to Uddhava. Papa, self alone is there. The mind only through dhyana, creating the objects as well as making you pushing you into the samsara. Like are the earlier examples of Sapna Manoratha. What is said before that is same thing. When the dhyana or because vasana, when the mana buddhi are becoming differently modified, unable to stand apart, we think that all of those things are happening on us. For that, the examples given were when you are going in the boat or in the train, the things appear going back. Before that, the another sloka which was said, if you remember, was ki prakrutehe evam atmanam avivichya. Inability to separate yourself from Prakriti, you think you are doing it, though the Prakriti is doing all. Tatvena sparsha sammuda. Means all these slokas are connected. These are each levels of logics and explanation understanding. So from the 50 to 55, each are the different deeper level. And the deepest is this one. What is there is self alone. When you don't know the self, then both will happen. What is that? The antakarana will be born, then the jignasa to know is also born. Obviously, you are not knowing the self. From there only the antakarana came. Then the antakarana has to forcefully think about itself something. Therefore, it thinks it's as jiva. To fulfill itself identity as jiva, it identifies the upadhis. Then slowly the Vishaya Dhyanam starts. Then the Vishayas appear real. Then we get into that. And the whole thing is swapne anartha agamaha yatha. Like in the swapna, though the world is not there, but the swapna mana is created all of that, and you get all the anartha in the swapna. You know, big flood came, you are gone in that. Or bhukamp ho gaya, jamin mein dhas gaya. Fire accident ho gaya, kuch ho gaya. These are anartha. Or you have applied for some job and all, nahi aaya. Your business has collapsed. Or your relation with all friends relatives is broken. All of them anartha. In the swapna, we experience. But nahi hai wo. What are all of them? The projection of the dream mind. In the same way, in the world, waking mind is only doing the dhyana. That power of the dhyana of the waking mind is so much that everything appearing to be real. Dhyayato vishayanas. Then this object is so deep and elaborate. I am not going into those details, but two things I'll say. This much you understand. Three things. One is total world is because of total dhyana of the Ishvara. In that individual world is individual dhyana of the Jiva. The total dhyana of the Ishvara has created total world, which we can't change. But I can withdraw from my dhyana of the world, then I can withdraw from my world and enter into the Paramatma. Otherwise, you'll have a question, no? My dhyana created of the my world. I can't create the whole world, no? मेरे विषयों को मेरे ध्यान ने निर्माण किया, मान ली, बट मेरे लिए इतना बड़ा दुनिया दिख रहा है, किसको इसको किसने ना ईश्वरास विषय ध्यानम क्रिएटेड द एंटायर वर्ल्ड and Ishvara created for not his any fulfillment or anything as a Leela Matra or for the sake of Jiva. But among that, when I do the dhyana, then for me it appears to be real, then I involve. Then what I have to do? Whatever is related around me must understand that is all my mana created. What is not at all related to me, it is Ishvara created. Therefore, ईश्वर क्रिएशन ईश्वर को छोड़ो, अपने स्वयं का मानसिक क्रिएशन को विथड्रॉ करो, then you are one with the self. This is one way of sadhana. So, अर्थे हि अविद्यमाने भी संसतिर्न निवर्तते ध्यायतो विषयानस्य स्वप्ने अनर्थागमो यथा. ये श्लोक में इतना भयंकर कुछ चीजें होते हैं ना, बताएं तो डर लगता है. This thing only, which is so sweetly spoken here by Krishna Bhagavan, is spoken very emotionally, painfully by Adi Shankara in all his stotrams. है ना, न मे माता न मे पिता न मे बंधु न मे मित्रम. That is very painful. मनोबुद्धि अहंकार चित्ता निनाहम, न च गुरु न शिष्य, जो कहते हैं ना. कारिकाकार also says न निरोधो न चोत्पत्ति न बद्धो न च साधकः. That is a raw way of saying of the truth, which is very softly said by the Lord here. भगवान सेड, कृष्ण प्यार से, बेटा कोई विषय है ही नहीं है, फिर भी तुमको संसार चल रहा है. क्यों? क्योंकि तुम मन से ध्यान कर रहे हो उसका. ध्याय तो विषयानस्य स्वप्ने अनर्थागमयत is an example. But the same thing in a raw manner, not in a sweet manner, said by Adi Shankara Adi. Where is mother? Where is father? Pagal hai. It's all in your mind only. Because the mother is to the Deha. You are not the Deha. Interesting. That's why it's so dangerous if we speak all these naked truths. It is impossible to live in life. That's why first cut off all those, then meditate on this. By staying in the family and grasta, ऐसा सोचोगे तो ये भी बिगड़ेगा, वो बिगड़ेगा, वो पाप भी है. Therefore, for meditation's sake and knowing the truth, you do all that. But as the Vyavahara comes, you have to be normal. As I told you 2 days back, in the normal Vyavaharic world, follow the normal Vyavaharic rules only. Don't go and tell your mother, oh mother, you gave birth to only my Deha. I am not Deha, I am the Jiva, I have entered into that. Therefore, you are not my mother. सब बिगड़ जाएगा फिर उसका. Mother is mother always, father is father. जो व्यवहार का चलने दो. But the fact is this. First of all, as a Jiva, I am not born only, no? Then how can I have birth? Then no birth. Then how is mother and father? Lot of Raj. Do any mother and father know which child is going to be born? See, question if it is asked, it will lead to such a correct, confusing understandings. Correct understanding, confusion. Nobody knows which child comes. Therefore, how can you say my child? कोई आया बस, उसको आप मान रहे हो बात में. And that is the Lord put the nature in all jivas to take the offsprings with love. So that the jati or created things, when they are at a very helpless state of life, they are taken care. Prakriti. Oh, sorry. Even the tiger which kills other animals ferociously or lion takes care of its own cubs. That is Bhagwan's given Prakriti in the entire universe. But this tiger chasing other animal is it's naked, it is its own cruelty. It has its cruelty, therefore it is born as tiger or lion. But the tiger or lion or any animal, it takes of the care of the offsprings. That is universal. Every bird and everything that takes care of, because at that small level, that child has to taken care. That instinct Bhagavan has put in those mothers or those mother and mainly mother. Kabhi kabhi father. More is mother. Father is not like in the example of lion or tiger. They try to kill. The male tiger tries to kill the children because he's jealous because the mother is only running behind those children. अर्थे हि अविद्यमानेऽपि संसृतिर्न निवर्तते ध्यायतो विषयानस्य स्वप्ने अनर्थागो नमः. Is it not? Everything is mind dhyana. Actually, other than me, there is no thing or being. But I imagine that is the first dhyanam. Thereafter, I become separate from that, and then with some or the other relativity, I keep on living a relative life only. The whole life of ours, which is so real at this level, where we have the friends, relate, all of that at the highest level of contemplation, only in the Manas Sankalpa. But that's the beauty of life at the Vyavahara level. In the sadhana kala, in a sweet, soft, delicate manner, we have to come out of that only to discover ourselves. not to escape the duties, not to refrain from being responsible contributor. Then that's all misusing the Vedanta. Such people never be getting that or this. तत्व को जानने के लिए मात्र ही हमें बाकी सारे धर्मों से विथड्रा करना है. मामेकम शरणम व्रज, टू डू दैट ओनली सर्वधर्मान परित्यज्य. If Mamekam Sharanam Vraja is not done, Sarvadharman you have to practice only. As important is to give up all dharma to know the truth, so much importance is to practice all dharma when our goal is not discovering truth. देखो याद रखना उसको. सर्वधर्मान परित्यज is as important as सर्वधर्मान परिपालनम कृत्वा. If you are not doing Sharanam Vraja. That's why I'll give you a tip today. Understand? What is that? When you are opening the eye and looking at the world, live such a decent guy of full of responsibility, commitment with dharma. 100%. When you are in the world. किसी को पत्ता भी नहीं होना चाहिए कि you are seeker. The moment when you are in your own chamber of Shastra study or meditation or class, just shut the doors of everything of the world and aloof remain only as sadhak. What do we do? Totally opposite. When we sit for meditation, we remember the father, mother, daughter in us and remember only those relatives. And when we are in the world to contact with them, and we will just pose, no, I am a student of that guru and I am a sadhaka. Arey bewakoof, ye bhi gaya, wo bhi gaya. That ability is the all rishis of yore they lived. When they entered their chambers of meditation, they transcended not only the world outside and relatives, Deha and Jiva also. One with the truth. But the moment they came down from that level, they have become such a loving people of the whole world. With all their talents, they helped and served the world in such a way as if the world is real. Some Rishi discovered Ayurveda, some Rishi discovered astrology, astronomy. अरे इन प्योर परब्रह्म में इसकी जरूरत है क्या? No, but discovered by the rishis only. How? When they are in the Utthana Avastha, world is as real as it was unreal when you are in the Atmajnana. Justify इसको भी करो, उसका भी आनंद. Therefore, when they were in the world, पक्का they were there, doing everything. But when they went into themselves, nothing other than. That's called Soham, they are the Dasoham. Mix up मत करना. सी ध्यान रखो, संसार व्यवहार का लेवल, तत्व का लेवल मिक्सअप मत करो. उसका उधर, इसका इधर. As long as you are totally withdrawn like Jada Bharata and all, there is no samsara to you, then you are an avadhuta, move there. That's why even for a sannyasi, he has got some rules, if depending on his own parampara to which he belongs. He'll have to fulfill them. Only the avadhutas who have transcended every nama rupa, they just move. That's it. Hope you are catching what is said here. But main point is so simple. Arte avidyamane pi samstudya nanivartate dhyaito vishayanasya swapne anarthagama yatha. Then to this Bhagavan gives the solution. These 4 shlokas, I can speak out them now only in 10 minutes. एक और दिन लगा देते हैं इस चैप्टर के लिए. I thought of concluding today, but time's up, so let it be. मेन थिंग्स हमको मिल गए. द 50वां वाला श्लोक, द 55 वाला श्लोक, ये हमको पक्का पकड़ना चाहिए. इन द सेम वे व्हाट ही सेड वाज इन द अर्लियर श्लोक 41 also important. 41, 50, 55 they are the main श्लोकास. जैसे स्कूल में होते थे ना, पूरा लेसन पढ़ाकर और चैप्टर, देन द टीचर यूज्ड टू आस्क, बेटा देखो दिस chapter 3 this one, chapter 5 this one, they are important, they will come for your quarterly exam. Then we prepare. Here also they are the main shlokas. Remaining we'll see tomorrow. Sarvam Krishna Arpanamom Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavajashyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai, Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai. Thanks. Now Valmiki Ramayana mein aa jao beta.